this lengthy report where they even had to follow trucks that left prisons with some of the goods and services that prisoners had worked on. They actually followed them to find out where these trucks ended up, to be able to connect the work that prisoners did with the places where their work was picked up and sold and used. So they found from everything from Rice Krispie cereal, ballpark hot dogs, gold medal flour can be traced back to prisons, ending up on the shelves of supermarkets, including Kroger, Costco, and Whole Foods. And the Associated Press, as I said, this was a 2-year report. They sought information from all 50 states, linking hundreds of millions of dollars worth of transactions to agriculture-based prison labor in state and federal facilities over the past 6 years.
And that's your hottest 60 seconds this week from Reality Check on WURD Progressive. Black Talk Media.
There are reasons cannabis is illegal in New Jersey for those under 21. If you're a parent, you should know them. Early cannabis use can inhibit brain development, impair learning, and increase the risk of later substance abuse and mental health issues. Talk to your kids about cannabis. Set clear boundaries. Most of all, be a role model. Be cannabis smart to stay cannabis safe. Learn more at cannabissafe.nj.gov.
I need some extra money. Do I qualify for the Earned Income Tax Credit?
Use the EITC Assistant tool. With just a little information, this tool helps you calculate eligibility with ease and accuracy. Get an estimate of how much credit you qualify for, and get a printout of your results before you prepare your return or visit your tax preparer. To use the EITC Assistant tool and see if you're eligible to claim a credit, visit irs.gov/EITC.
In honor of Black History Month, WURD, in collaboration with First World Theater, presents Diamonds of the Diaspora, Black political figures and influencers in their own words. Stephen Biko was a South African university student activist fighting for freedom from apartheid. In 1968, he co-founded the South African Students Organization and initiated the Black Consciousness Movement, whose philosophy is rooted in affirming Black identity and removing the ideas of inferiority that apartheid promoted. In 1971, Stephen Biko spoke at a nationwide multiracial student conference on the connection between white racism and Black consciousness.
We now come to the group that has longest enjoyed confidence from the Black world, the white liberal establishment, including radical and leftist groups. The biggest mistake the Black world ever made was to assume that whoever opposes apartheid was an ally. How many white people fighting for their version of change in South Africa are really motivated by genuine concern and not by guilt? A white person possesses the natural passport to the exclusive pool of white privileges. Yet, at the back of his mind is a constant reminder that he is quite comfortable as things stand and therefore should not bother about change. I'm not sneering at the liberals and their involvement. Neither am I suggesting that they are the most to blame for the Black man's plight. Rather, I am illustrating the fundamental fact that the total identification by white liberals with an oppressed group of Blacks in a system that forces one group to enjoy privilege and live on the sweat of another is impossible.
That's a speech from Stephen Biko, performed by Richard Bradford from First World Theater. This Black History Month, we honor the work and political influence of Stephen Biko. This Black History Month vignette is brought to you by the Tucker Law Group, the Pennsylvania Lottery, Philadelphia Water Department, and Independence Blue Cross. We are the home of progressive Black Talk Media. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the WURD Radio app. The views and opinions expressed by the guests, listeners, and hosts of any program on WURD Radio do not necessarily reflect those of the ownership, management, or advertisers of this station.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people. Write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter. L. What's that? What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Today is Thursday, February 15th. Here we are, the day after the day we celebrated love, 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 love. Did you have a good day? I hope you're having a great start to your week. How about that? As we're nearing the weekend, I want to know what kind of plans you have and how things are going. Also, I just want to say thank you again to everybody that came out to Love and Life's first live event, and also everybody that wanted to do so. I'm still reeling, I'm still on a high, from the event itself and from all the love that was there and that was shared because of it. So just thank you, family. Thank you so, 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 so much. So much. I do want to continue with our Black History Month celebration. That's right. That's right. Today's Black History celebratory moment is about Ethel Waters. Ethel Waters was the first Black woman to be a regular on a TV show. I did not know that. She became the first Black woman to have her own TV show called The Ethel Waters Show, which aired in 1939. The show featured Ethel Waters as the host and singer, and it made her the first Black woman to have a regular television program, right? Family, that's today's Black History celebratory moment. A happy birthday to all of our love bugs that are celebrating a birthday. Yes, happy birthday to each and every one of you. And family, for those of you whose hearts are heavy, just know that I'm sending you extra love and hugs. That's what I'm doing. That's right. On behalf of our entire tribe and village, your tribe and your village, because we all want you to know that you are not alone. You hear me? You are not alone, and you are not doing this by yourself. Okay? Because you've got us. You've got us right here. Family, I know that you know that February is a month of love. Well, WURD has an exclusive new collection for this month only. Our I Love WURD collection features a t-shirt, stemless wine glass, hoodie, water bottle, coffee mug, and a tote bag. That's right. And guess what? If you are already a member, then you can get these brand new items for 50% off in our WURD shop. So if you're not, guess what? You can join or renew now, so you can get your discount code via email. Simply go to wordradio.com/I Love WURD to start shopping now and show your love for your favorite radio station. Family, that's wordradio.com/ILUVWURD. I do want to say hello to some of our family members that are checking in. Brother Nasir is checking in, and he's sending peace and blessings to us all. And we send them right back to you, Nasir. Hi there. Thank you for joining us. Nicole P is checking in, and she shares that she is happy to be here in this positive and safe space with everybody this evening. Well, we welcome you, love bug. We surely do. Eric is here joining us. Just Rick, that is. And he asks how my Thursday was. Well, my Thursday was wondrous. Yes, it was. I had a beautiful day today. I did. You see me cheesing. Can you see every single one of my teeth? I bet you can. But thank you for asking, Eric. Thank you so much. Malcolm is sharing that he is watching and listening from West Mount Airy. There's that message that I love. Good evening to you as well, good sir. Good evening. Good evening. Always happy to have you join us. Alfred, hi there. It's been a minute. Alfred is joining us this evening too, and he shares this is his absolute favorite radio show. And he says, Happy belated Valentine's to everybody. I love that. He's just sharing the love. I love that. I love that. All right, family, let's get started. Our first guest is only with us for a short period of time. And I think this is such an important conversation. If you will recall, we had the cast of The Cost of Living that visited with us not long ago, and we had a wonderful conversation. But I said something in the conversation that sparked. Well, it was more. It was more interest. It was more than interest, I should say. But it sparked another conversation because if you will recall, I made the comment when we were talking. I said that I'd preferred the term challenged as opposed to disabled. And I was notified that that wasn't exactly right. So, our first guest is one of our love bugs. She's come to talk with us and help to educate me as well as us on terminology and preferences. And I'm grateful for this conversation. Our first guest is Katie Samson, who is the accessibility consultant for Philadelphia Theater Company's production of Cost of Living, currently running through February 18th. She is a connector, a disability self-advocate and storyteller, using her lived experience live. Do you hear me? Using her lived experience as a quadriplegic, who is also hard of hearing, and her previous teaching in disability studies. She advises organizations and universities on many aspects of disability identity and culture. Family, I invite you to the conversation with none other than Katie Samson. Hello there, beautiful.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Sending love out to all Love and Life listeners. It's so great to be with you, Carol. And thank you for welcoming me into this space to have this conversation.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Family, so I was sharing with Katie offline that I was unaware that this was a conversation, that there had been a conversation about it, but it makes sense because I was unaware. I did not know. So I'm happy to welcome you in this space. And family, listen, I don't mind being corrected as long as you listen. Be easy when you do it. But I don't mind being corrected. We tend to take it a little better if you come easily.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's an interesting topic, and it's really at the forefront of conversations around disability right now. I also work as the director of education at an organization called Art Reach, which has been in Philadelphia for over 35 years. And we're a team of disabled and non-disabled advocates, educators and artists and allies. And we really want to make the arts as inclusive space for disabled, led by disabled. But I think at the heart of it is really this belief that everyone should have a chance to engage with the arts, which is why I jumped on the opportunity to work with PTC on this production of Cost of Living. Mm-hmm. I think we all want to understand the intersectional relationship between disability, race, and poverty as we strive to learn from the lived experience of our community to really create lasting change, especially in the city of Philadelphia, where we have the highest rate of disability in the top 10 cities in America.
Wait, I'm sorry. What was that?
Yeah. Philadelphia has the highest rate of disability in the top 10 cities in America, edging up at about 17%. And that is based on people who self-identify as disabled.
Let me ask you this. Is that specifically with regard to physical disabilities or just disabilities overall?
Overall. Okay. Yeah. So we talk about sensory disabilities, psychological disabilities, disabilities related to strength and vitality, like asthma, heart disease, diabetes, things like that. So,
well, one of our family members Alfred is asking, why is that? How is that?
Really, really interesting question. Obviously there's a a lot of deep poverty that happens in this city, and a correlation between deep poverty and disability related to food scarcity, food deserts in our city, air quality, access to good quality air for breathing, to going outside and experiencing nature. We also are what's considered a high city for medical tourism, which means that a lot of people come to Philadelphia for medical care and end up staying because of the quality of medical care that they can receive.
Oh my goodness. Medical tourism. Family, I know they say you learn something every day, but I'm learning a lot today. And I've never heard that term, medical tourism.
Yeah, just families really having to sacrifice and make that choice, especially moving out of a rural region, moving out of another state that maybe doesn't have access to services.
Sure.
We also have aside from Florida, one of the highest rates of senior living in Pennsylvania for seniors and super seniors. So it's a state worthy of sticking around. And the longevity of that. So as we age into our bodies and experience, a lot of change, a lot of physical change, a lot of psychological change. There's the wonderful late disability rights activist Judith Heumann said, at some point in time, we all will experience disability. It can be temporary. It can be physical, it can be more permanent, like the disability that I have, in which I have a spinal cord injury. And it can also be situational. You can wake up some days and not feel great. And then you can wake up some days and have a glorious, beautiful day.
So Alfred is following up his initial question with sharing that he lives in Chicago and there is a lot of disinvestment in Black communities. If you know, where does Chicago rank as far as that percentage or that statistic is concerned?
I don't actually know that offhand, but I do know that information in our latest census data is available for you, and also to hone in on certain demographics within the disability community as well.
Sure.
There's really wonderful tools that can be used for data mapping on disability to really show like neighborhood prevalence and things like that as well.
So Katie, I know we don't have you for very long this evening. The burning question for me, when I mentioned or used the term challenged instead of disabled, was that an insult? That's my first question.
I think in the disability community, it would perhaps be labeled as a microaggression or an ableist microaggression, in which, you think of it like a little mosquito bite, not necessarily like damaging and hurtful as outward language, but we think about euphemisms, like euphemistic language, as sort of sidestepping the issue and not confronting it head on. And I really equate it in certain areas of underrepresented communities or communities of color, to think about the differences that some younger Black Americans feel about the term African American, or the terms
adults. I don't care for that term.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? Can I interject for one moment? Because when I used the term, I was saying that I said challenged instead of disabled, because I thought, and family, this is based upon my own thoughts and feelings. I thought the term or word disabled had some sort of negative connotation, and I thought, well, we all have challenges. But I thought, in the spectrum, there are varying degrees of challenges.
Sure.
And that was my rationalization for it. So I didn't have the understanding that in any way it would be even the slightest insult. So let me say, because I did not address that when you just said that it could be viewed, seen, or felt as a microaggression, let me just say that I apologize to anyone and everyone that I insulted, or anyone that felt in any way that insulted by the term that I used in the statement that I made.
Well,
I'm
thank you. Thank you, Carol. And I appreciate it. And I know, community members do, and cast members of Cost of Living. And absolutely, I think we're in a period of cultural humility where we have to recognize that we're going to make mistakes and we're going to learn from them. My favorite thing I learned recently is fail, FAIL, is first attempt in learning. And so sometimes we small fail and sometimes we big fail, but so I think at the heart of the term disability is a reclaiming of identity.
Sure.
And understanding that there are plenty of people out there that have disabilities that they don't want, and they want to eradicate, they want to treat, they want to get better. I tend to favor more of the social model of disability and the sort of political activation model of disability that really thinks about the world as being disabling and not myself, because I have to deal with that on a regular basis, like going to the doctor. And we rarely go to the doctor and talk about all the good things that are going on in our minds and our bodies. We talk about our
Go back
aches.
to this. Wait. I want to go back to this. I'm so sorry for cutting you off for this, but I really want to go back because I need to understand. I want to have a better understanding, but we do have to take a short commercial break. Time goes by so quickly. Family, stay with us because we are coming right back.
Booker's Restaurant and Bar is a place to celebrate Black History Month with a variety of foods rich in African culture served daily all February long. Go to bookersrestaurantandbar.com now to make reservations or visit us at 5021 Baltimore Avenue. That's bookersrestaurantandbar.com. Come for the food, stay for the vibes.
Tune in this Sunday for Her Health Matters show at 2 p.m. Hosted by medical doctor Sophia Shabazz, MD. Top physicians, clinicians, and elected officials will answer the questions you care about on the physical, mental, and social well-being of women.
Hey, everything okay?
Yes, I'm fine.
Honey. Hey, I'm here for you. Tell me about school today.
When kids can't find the right words, music can help them sound it out. Talk to the kids in your life about their emotional well-being. Find tools and resources at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of progressive Black talk media, WURD.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
And we are back. Welcome back, family. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. And we are talking with Katie Samson. And I was explaining before we went to commercial that I would like a better understanding of because my understanding of a microaggression is a slight or an insult or a put down and possibly an invalidation if someone speaks in an attempt to, maybe, I don't know if it's in an attempt, but maybe not even knowingly invalidating someone. So I'm curious to know, because they say when you know better you do better. I'm curious to know in what way was using the word challenging instead of disabled a microaggression.
Yeah, I think at the heart of it, the term disability and the definition that I use, that a number of people use, is disability is an identity, a community, and a body-mind experience. And it has been a term that's been reclaimed by people with disabilities as a statement of pride, as a way, because we think about many terms related to disability identity have been claimed by non-disabled people, whether it's in healthcare, in different diagnoses or sort of infantilizing people with disabilities. And so it's taking back that identity and honoring it, celebrating it. And so I think when someone steps in without that perspective and that understanding of a culture and an identity that actually has pride. I mean, people might question, like, you have pride in being disabled? And it's like, yes, I've lived half my life in a wheelchair. And I know plenty of people that were born with their disability and they don't know any different. And we're a thriving, creative, problem solving, hilarious, and feisty bunch. And we're in every family, every community, every walk of life. And we've been ignored and relegated to the sidelines forever. And I think in the past, probably 20 years, 10 years, more progressively, it's just enough's enough.
Sure. No, thank you for that. Thank you. I want to share. Our family members are talking. Mimi Rock is joining us. Hello there, Mimi. Sharing hello and good evening. So good to be able to tune in after the nice commute home. There was hardly any traffic. I love that for you. Alfred shares, thank you. Thank you for that response. He asked the question about Chicago, and he also references the definition of disability from the American Disability Act. He shares that everything, I would say, is an experience of learning. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Nicole P shares, I respect what you're saying, Miss Katie, but I felt that a microaggression by definition is an intended insult. Maybe I'm wrong. And she follows that up by sharing, as a Black woman that receives microaggressions on a daily basis, I'm not sure if I can agree, but I do appreciate the empowering dialogue.
That's okay. That's why I love having these conversations. Like, when we can understand the disagreement from different points of view and different perspectives. And I think that's what we're here for, right, Carol? To have these conversations and to understand. And I think coming from a place as an educator and a place of learning, I'm always in the understanding that I think because a lot of people in the disability community have like pretty thick skin because they have to navigate getting up in the morning, perhaps dealing with caregivers, public transportation, so many barriers that I think the one barrier that faces many marginalized communities the most is attitude. And if we can just slightly change those attitudes about stereotypes and ableist perspectives, then we are doing just a little bit better.
That's so interesting. I thought I was making an effort not to be insulting, and I was being insulting. Alfred shares, or he asks actually, are those suffering from mental illness a form of a disability?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think I prefer to actually not use affliction language, like suffered from, impaired with, things like that. But, obviously, I understand. Yeah, absolutely. I think the Americans with Disabilities Act and the Center for Disease Control would break up a lot of these into sort of buckets, like psychological disability, sensory disability, mobility disability, things like that. And so, yeah, we would think about mental health and wellness in that category of psychological disability.
Heather is
learning disability as well. Learning disabilities are a disability, right? Yeah.
Agreed. Heather cheers hello there. Hi, beautiful. Thank you for joining us. And Alfred follows up by sharing that communication is healthy, and we need to do more of that with respect in our country. So true. But that's what we do. That's what we do here. We talk about everything, and I think it's necessary. I think it's healthy, and I definitely am hopeful that it is helping some of us, if not all of us. Family, for those of you who have just joined us, welcome. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick. Right here on WURD, we are talking with Katie Samson, and we are talking about why the disabled community prefers the term disabled as opposed to other terms. Malcolm asks, what about cancer patients?
Absolutely. Under the recent amendment, I say recent as in 2010 to 2012 updates to the Americans with Disabilities Act, we call the ADAA. Cancer was actually added as a disability. And more recently, there's legislation with the Department of Justice to adopt long COVID as well as a disability. And addiction is also considered a disability under sort of the guidelines of behavioral health. So yeah, there's a lot there that I think people don't know about when talking about it. And I think if I could just reiterate that the disability community and identifying as a disability is anybody's personal preference. And I say it's a community that anybody can join at any moment in time. And we welcome your voice, any voice to that conversation or any perspective, any feeling. But also if you don't choose to or don't wish to disclose, that's completely anybody's prerogative. We're not forcing anybody into it or strong arming them to join the community. It's really just a place of learning, a place of gathering. And the disability justice movement was really started by Black, brown, disabled, and queer individuals to really understand that they had been left out of a lot of conversations around disability in particular. So when we talk about intersectionality, that is so much of the conversation that we're happening in these spaces that it's hard to remove one identity without removing another.
Sure. Alfred shares that as a layperson to that area of healthcare, he appreciates your information, and he shares, great question, Malcolm. Malcolm shares that he's a survivor of a bone marrow transplant. There was a spinal issue. I'm always sorry to read that, Malcolm.
Yeah, I hope you're doing better, Malcolm. And thanks for being with us.
I'm going to take a moment to go to our phone lines. Our family members have been waiting to join the conversation. You too can join the conversation in case you were unaware. You can do so by dialing 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. We're going to go to line 1. Hello, and thank you so much for calling.
Hello, Cal. Hello, Miss. How you doing? Hello, Love and Life family. I want to talk about the disability before it became the American disability. It was just called disability. I'm going back to 1943. And as you remember, when Dr. Jonas Salk found the cure for polio, President Roosevelt had that disability. And they were just calling it disability. I think it came in existence after his death, the American disability. And the Reverend Dr. Jonas Salk had that. I remember they call it polio too. Do you recall the history when he used to go down south? I think it was South Carolina, one of those states there, and he would go sit in the warm water down there and do the water therapy. And when
yes,
what I'm saying, And what I am saying, when I look back at the history and come all the way up, when we look what the Black people did not have access to a lot of the health things that they had back there, it was minimum at most. But when I really look at the progress have been made in the medical field, because Roosevelt never, because he found a cure for it, I think in 1954, if I'm correct. And what I'm saying, and I know we have a lot of concerns, but when we look at the country and where we're at today, not utopian, we are still in a good country. At least we have access to medical health care. Mm-hmm. It is very important. I'm very fortunate to have a beautiful, my primary care doctor have been with me for quite some time. Here's my point. Not you, but the person as a patient, it's very important that you ask questions to these medical people, and you can make recommendations based on what your body is going through. And that's very important. I want to say one other thing. I want to say last night when I heard what they said about Cal, our auntie, and I want to thank WRD family for uplifting her and just saying that. And then when I heard her husband say that she's going through a metamorphosis in the other stage of her life, I think with the Alzheimer's. Yeah. And this is very important, very important. that he have already, this gentleman and many more, and the love that we show, but what he have showed with this woman, with Auntie, and the longevity, I think she'll be just fine. They have shown they care for one another. Auntie also said something that it was so beautiful for her to say that. She said trust in that relationship. She said she liked to go places, he liked to go places. So what Brian is saying, look how all this came about. Cal brought her on. You don't know her, and Cal brought her on. And our WURD family, Love and Life, Malcolm and all the callers was coming in, and they were saying nice things about her. It is my hope that the Almighty God let me meet her. And when I go through my cleansing process and I go through my meditation, I want to meet her with her husband's permission to touch her. I have something I want to say to her. I want to say to Auntie, hopefully she will never forget it. And at the time, the crucial part of our lives, we're very fortunate if we have someone in your family to care for you. But this is the love in life. Mm-hmm. It is a family within itself. What y'all have done last night, beloved, thank you, Malcolm. Thank you for encouraging letting her hear that, to know that so many people care about her. And I say this to Cal. It's my hope. I don't wish. It's my hope that someone will bring someone in Cal's life to care for her. I'm not talking to boyfriend or nothing. Just anybody's not going to come into Cal's life because she is too beautiful as a human being. And what will give Cal the care for Cal, whatever may be ailing her, and I hope it's minimum, when she know people care for her, because Cal is a caring person in our family. And for her to create this segment of her program, it will be ever for grace. I hope the Almighty God, and He give our blessings. And on this earth, before she leaves this earth, that she would have someone, and as she gets much older, that will care for her. If the time should ever come, at the crucial part of life, there's healing in that caring. Thank you, Love and Life family. And if y'all noticed last night, and we noticed a couple of days, many people are calling from down something, not many, I don't want to fabricate nothing, but they're calling, want to be a part of this program. And Cal, and I hope that you cry, beloved. I want you to do that. And when I talk about Cal, let me say this. Once again, to the audience, I have never talked inappropriate to Cal. I've never said anything out of the way in reference to her relationships or anything like that, or even made suggestions with it. But because she said something, and Ryan heard a whole lot of things out of a whole lot of people. And this is what caused me to be appreciative and listen at when she talked. If you recall, Cal, when I called you one time on the radio, I got on the radio, you just before you got your show, and I said to you, Cal, what happens after the curtain comes down? What happens when no longer you're performing? And that is this, that your life, because you have given, may God be a comfort to you. He will be there because you know the power of prayer.
Yes.
And I hope that someone will care for you, but that will care for you. That's what I really hope. My Lord, I babble a little bit. And thank you for all the givers and all the people that y'all, Malcolm and y'all guys, you're on this program here. This is one of the greatest ways that, we're great, but this is one of the ways that you can say thank you to Cal. She liked when Malcolm and you, and I love it too. When people call and have a guest code.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you so much. As you say, my cup runneth over. My cup runneth over with appreciation and gratitude to you. So thank you so much for that. Family, we do have another call. I'm going to take this call. I know we're just before another commercial break. Katie, do you have a few more moments to
Absolutely.
Stay? Okay,
yeah.
Perfect. We do have another family member online too. Hello there, and thank you so much for calling.
I'm gonna make it fast. Excuse me. To Uncle Ron, facts, bro. And Miss Carol,
Yes.
I'm going to go to rewind
Okay.
to your relatives, your aunt and uncle. When I heard the story yesterday, it reminded me of the movie. I'm not going to mention names. To where Cicely Tyson and Lou Gossett stood on a beach, and they had this story. And to me personally, it was more powerful than that, but that was powerful also. And I talked to a gentleman yesterday when I was trying to get through. He made a statement that you come from good stock. Sister, you're a queen. Move on. Love you all.
Love you as well. Thank you so much. Family, we're still talking with Katie Samson. Thank you so much. If you are have just joined us, you're tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. Katie's going to stay with us for a few more moments. So, family, stay with us while we go to commercial break. Thank you to both Ron and James for contributing to the conversation. Family, we'll be right back.
How deep is your love? How deep is your love?
February is a month of love, and WURD has an exclusive new collection for this month only. Our I Love WURD line features a t-shirt, stemless wine glass, hoodie, water bottle, coffee mug, and a tote bag. And guess what? If you're a member, then you can get those brand new items for 50% off in our WURD shop. Join or renew to get your discount code via email. Go to wordradio.com/ILoveWURD to start shopping now and show your love for your favorite radio station. That's wordradio.com/ILUVWURD. WURD Radio Digital Tip of the Month is brought to you by Comcast.
We all love the convenience of online shopping, but don't blow your budget by falling for these online tricks. Pay attention to things that might get automatically added to your cart by default, like insurance on concert tickets or travel. Don't fall for the sense of urgency some sites create with countdown clocks or inventory trackers claiming that time is running out to buy. And don't be pressured into buying more than you need just to get the free shipping. If the additional items in your cart are more than the shipping cost, was it really free? Take advantage of how easy online shopping can be, but don't let it take advantage of you. Stay tuned to WURD for more tips and stay connected with us at wordradio.com.
Did you know that on average, customers who use natural gas from PGW for heating, cooking, and clothes drying save more money on their energy bills per year than those that don't? And right now, a LIHEAP grant from PGW can help you save even more. Don't miss out on up to $1,000 of free money. It's simple. Just text money to 77037 or visit pgworks.com/LIHEAP. That's MONEY to 77037. PGW, helping ease minds this winter.
Friday's Mega Million jackpot now has an estimated annuity of $457 million. $457 million. So don't forget to play at your local retailer or online. Pennsylvania Lottery proceeds benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly.
Long nose, what's the word, boy? What's the word? What's the word?
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with Katie Samson. And if you will recall, I shared that she is the accessibility consultant for Philadelphia Theater Company's production of Cost of Living, currently running through February 18th. We did have the cast of Cost of Living just a short while ago, if you remember. And to answer your question, Eric, yes, I was referencing the play Cost of Living. We did have the cast members here. So, Katie, I'm still going over my well, going over digesting, I should say, digesting the conversation that we're having and the explanation you had given, and I'm still, I still don't understand how using the word challenged instead of disabled is a microaggression, especially because um, of the explanation I had given. And let me say this, because I did apologize to anyone who is insulted or felt insulted by everything and anything that I did say. I just want to have a better understanding of what it was that was said. What I want to do, though, as you know, family, today is Thursday with Dr. Z, and our beloved Dr. Z. She's actually here in the room with us, and I'm going to join her to the conversation because she's someone who oversees an IDD agency. So I think that would be wonderful and beneficial to have her join the conversation with us. So, family, I invite Dr. Z to the conversation. Welcome to the conversation, Dr. Z. How are you?
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am well, thank you.
Hello, Katie. How are you?
Hi, Dr. Z. Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Z, I made a comment. Yes, what I said, we were having a conversation about disability, and I said that I prefer to use the term challenged as opposed to disabled, because I thought that I did not know it was an insult, and I was in no way making an attempt to be insulting, but I thought my understanding of the word disabled had of less than. And that's, again, family, that's my own interpretation and perspective. So I thought by saying challenged, I thought that was evening the playing field, because we're all challenged in some way. Everybody has a challenge. So I was explaining that, but Katie was sharing that because, and I want to make sure I have this right too, Katie. Katie, you were sharing that because an individual identifies as disabled, it could appear insulting, or it is insulting to them for another term to be used. Is that the proper understanding?
Yeah, I think the way that we were talking about, we think about it as an unintentional or a well-intentioned microaggression that is very subtle, but oftentimes can be considered offensive for those who do identify as part of disability culture and identify as disabled.
No, I'm gonna ask you this. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, because I think that's so rude to interrupt. But I want to understand how the word challenged is insulting as opposed to disabled. I don't have that full understanding yet.
Yeah, because
in order to make it a microaggression, that's what I'm trying.
Right, because the term challenged is like saying differently abled or handy capable. It is like soft stepping the issue, and it's almost like it's made to feel you more comfortable about using language rather than making the marginalized person feel more comfortable about themselves. And so remember that language provides currency to prejudice. So it's based using language can further marginalize people with disabilities, and it only deepens the divide rather than making people feel more welcome and comfortable with who they are.
So it's based on your interpretation, basically.
Yeah, I mean, anybody's presentation. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So the person to whom I'm speaking, it's based upon their interpretation. So it's not my intent, but based upon your interpretation of the word itself, you determine it to be a microaggression. It's not. It wasn't my intent for it to be a microaggression.
Absolutely.
So based upon your own interpretation. Okay.
Yeah, and I think if you look to the disability etiquette guides that have come out in recent years, from the United Spinal Association to other forms like the United States Access Board, our federal government, they provide guidance in language and the way that oftentimes language can be deemed offensive, whether it's unintentional or not, just coming from a place of trying to learn better. And it's similar to the way in which oftentimes we think about naming and language that we just maybe don't understand or don't know or don't have privy to in our personal lives or in our work experience and things like that.
You know, it's interesting that you. Well, first, I'm sorry. I invited you, Dr. Z, to the conversation. So I'm curious to know. Well, is this conversation a familiar one with you? I was sharing with Katie that I had no idea that this was even a conversation.
It's definitely a conversation. It's a conversation that takes place in all marginalized groups in general, right? Because what's important for us to know is to learn the language. What is the language? What is the appropriate language to use when speaking around different marginalized groups? But as I look back and I went back, Carol, to see what did she say last week, and I listened to it a little bit. I think for you, it was you were operating out of a place of ignorance, right? If I can say, you did not know that terminology that you use could be considered offensive to many, not all. It could be offensive to many. So you made a great point when you just said this idea of how it's received from the person. So in this case, for Katie, it sounded like in others, it may have been received as a form of disrespect or ignorance or lack of knowledge. However, I think we always process things through intent, right? When we talk about microaggressions is intentional and unintentional. But in your case, it was an unintentional act that you stated, and you just needed to be redirected to say, no, we don't focus on things through a challenging lens. We focus on things through a disabled, abled lens. They are able to do certain things within their community versus what they're not able to do. So when you say challenge, it speaks to the disabled negative stereotype of it, if I can say, versus highlighting the strengths of this community.
Right.
Thank you, Dr. Z. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me.
It makes so much sense. So much sense. It makes so much. Well, first of all, thank you for that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I was like, I don't want Carol, and I know you're not. I was like, I don't want her beating herself up about this, because at the end of the day, it was all about intent. And I saw someone say in the comments about microaggressions on the job. You're right. The intent of that microaggression is to hurt, is to disappoint, is to cause some type of frustration or anger or something not good. In your case, it was you just speaking in what you thought was strength-based language, right? Around a community that you weren't fully familiar with. And so people do it all the time, and we learn from it, we reset ourselves from it, and we make sure we use the correct terminology moving forward. Because truth be told, not everyone studies all things disability. Everybody, right? Everyone's not sitting in trainings and learning the correct terminology, not even just around those who are disabled, even around any marginalized group. People are not learning the language. So sometimes these mistakes happen, but these conversations are necessary so that they don't keep happening.
I'll give you an example to even stretch beyond language to think about behavior in microaggression, especially when related to disability. And this is just from a personal experience. I'm not speaking for all disabled people in this regard, but I use a wheelchair. I've been a wheelchair user for 24 years. And oftentimes when I'm in a conversation with someone, maybe it's at a party or a gallery or at a theater opening, people will crouch down to speak to me. And I think they're doing it from a place of respect to have more eye contact. They'll get down maybe on their knees and they look very uncomfortable, right? It's like, it's not a position that a lot of people want to hold for a very long time.
Sure.
But we also do that when we talk to children. And so oftentimes I find it slightly infantilizing and paternalistic when someone bows down to talk to me in that way. I want them to be comfortable, and I want to have a conversation where they pull up a chair and we sit side by side, or they just remain standing, because the truth of the matter is they're a standing upright person and I am a seated person, and let's just have a conversation in the way that we are. And so that's an example of a behavioral microaggression. And as I said, I'm just speaking for myself. And oftentimes I don't really think about it too much, but sometimes it can be very obvious. And I'll just ask a person like, hey, let's go sit over on that bench so we can, sit together or something.
Wow.
And to piggyback off of that and to speak to that, as an individual who oversees a a group home residential program for individuals with disabilities, one of the things that we do is train individuals around the language, right? How do we talk? Asking them, is it okay to help you? Do you need me to help? Not making the assumption that they absolutely need help, which I think speaks to, Carol, everybody doesn't know that, right? Your natural instinct is to do the thing that you've been accustomed to doing. And I think kudos to you, Katie, for being an advocate to speak up, to say, hey, that doesn't fit. That's not a one size fit all approach, right? There's different people who handle their disability, aka ability, in different ways. But I think it also highlights the necessity for conversations like this and training, because I literally have to train my staff on how do you interact with people so that they don't have situations like you just shared, Katie. Like, don't kneel down. You can stand up. They'll be okay, right? Or don't assume that they need help and grab their arm. Ask them, do they need help, and guide them through the process of whatever it is that they're doing. But on your natural mind and your natural moment, day-to-day interaction, if you're not around individuals who actually have disabilities, you don't know that, right? You don't know.
How about that? Oh, MG. Look, I'm looking at the time. Katie, I'm looking as we're going into our next segment. I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you for your time, your energy, your attention, for the explanation, for your spirit. Thank you for being open, and just thank you overall for coming. It was such a pleasure talking with you. And
absolutely. Absolutely. I just love the conversation and the calling in about this topic. And I encourage anybody that's still available or interested to go see Cost of Living in Philadelphia, because it's a really beautiful show, and and if they want to reach out to the work that I'm doing at Art Reach here in Philadelphia, they can do so by visiting our website at www.art-reach.org. And I really appreciate Dr. Z, you coming on, and Carol, thank you so much. And all the Love and Life audience, I really appreciate you. So thank you.
Absolutely. Family, you heard that. Listen, we're going to commercial break, but we'll only be a moment. So stay with us, because we are coming right back. Take care, Katie.
Bye-bye.
It's the WURD Hot 60. Hot 60. Here's the hottest 60 seconds you missed this week on Evening Words.
I'm always very much in support of talking about a problem, but we can never talk more about a problem than what we are actually providing to solve the problem. And so when we talk about the criminal justice system and we talk about the overrepresentation of Black bodies within that system, we also have to talk about how people got there. All of that can not only be deduced by the man. There are other factors that contribute.
When you say the man, you mean like white supremacy, racism, et cetera?
Correct.
Okay.
And even if it's word that is beatable, there's a line I love in a song by J. Boo the Damager that says that organization kills more devils than bullets. And so we need to be aware of the things. We have critical minds. We can deduce the things that lead to these outcomes that we actually can control.
And that's your hottest 60 seconds this week from Evening Words on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
The Arthur Ross Gallery at the University of Pennsylvania supports WURD Radio and presents the exhibition Barbara Earl Thomas, The Illuminated Body. Experience 9 portraits that celebrate great Black cultural icons such as August Wilson, Seth Parker, and Charles Johnson, along with Thomas's friends, family, and acquaintances. Join the gallery for the opening reception Friday, February 16th at 5:30 p.m., featuring live music by Coop Ivy and a conversation between exhibiting artists Barbara Earl Thomas and scholar Kemi Adeyemi. Log on to arthurrossgallery.org for more information.
85 years ago, Independence Blue Cross was founded to provide peace of mind when accessing healthcare. Our first members were employees of Independence Hall. We started where our country started. I'm Greg Devins, CEO of Independence, thanking you for making us the leading health insurer in the region and the only health plan you need to know. Our promise for the last 85 years and the next 85 is to deliver the quality healthcare coverage you and your families deserve.
Family Therapy Vignette Moments with Dr. Lucille Ijoy. Make voting a family affair Include the children. Help them to care. We register. We vote. We must. I register. I vote. I must. Yes, indeed, everybody. Voting is a family affair. We gather together, no matter the weather. Stand tall now. Don't you waste your vote. Some folks, you know, they might not be woke, but not you, because voting is a family affair. This is Dr. Lucille Ijoy. Register, register, register. We vote, we must. Come on now. Register, we vote, we must. This is Dr. Lucille Ijoy.
Tune in to WURD Radio this Saturday at 10 a.m. for Saturdays with City Council. Join conversations that matter to your community with your local City Council members.
At Donors Choose, we want students and teachers to have the tools they need for a great education. And now, more than ever, they need your support. Learn more at donorschoose.org.
Donors Choose. Support a classroom. Build a future.
Celebrating Black excellence worldwide and bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online on wordradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. We are back. Welcome back to the top of the second hour of Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. As you know, Thursday is Thursdays with Dr. Z. That's the day. We love it. We love it. We love it. We love it. And Dr. Z is here. She hopped in a little earlier. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Z. Just thank you. And I want to say once again, to anyone that I insulted or to anyone that felt insulted by what I said or did, I apologize. I don't want to say I want to apologize to you. I apologize. I am sorry to have made you feel the way that you feel. I in no way intended to do so. No way. Family, I want to remind you, because I know that you know that February is a month of love. Well, WURD has an exclusive new collection for this month only. Our I Love WURD collection features a t-shirt, stemless wine glass, hoodie, water bottle, coffee mug, and even a tote bag. And guess what? If you are a member, then you can get these brand new items for 50% off in our WURD shop. So simply join or renew now to get the discount code via email. All you have to do is go to wordradio.com/I love WURD. So you can start shopping right now and show your love for your favorite radio station. Family, that's wordradio.com/I LUVWURD. That's right. So I asked a favor of Dr. Z. I was planning to show you all a little video and have a discussion because I want to know what you think and how you feel. So I asked Dr. Z, would you pop in and join this conversation? So we're about to dive in, Dr. Z. We're about to dive in. You ready? She said, let's go. Then let's do it.
Come with no complexion if we want to get down to it. Your pro-blackness got nothing to do with what love is. Okay. Love don't come with nothing, or what like is. Like don't come with nothing. You've been conditioned in your household that is pro-black everything, not knowing that somebody from another color might do way more better for you in your life than a black person might do. Not saying it might not be that way. I'm just telling you, love and like don't come with nothing. So what a person preference is a person preferences. And black people been conditioned for so long ago that there's certain things that we got to stop. Start letting other things.
I don't think a white... Also, I think being pro-black, too, for instance, we're pro-black wealth, right? How do you build black wealth if you don't go and marry someone black? There's no way to pass that wealth down blackly.
You were just were you trying to rob the wealth? Black wealth. I make money with white people, but it's still black wealth at the end of the day when they talk about my legacy and my history.
It come home to a black woman.
That black man did his thing and he got the bag.
It's funny you say that because my father said,
go where you are loved, right? And at that time, I was raised in a mixed type city. You know, our school was probably, it might have probably been 70% white and then 25% black, and then that remaining 5% was just everything else, right? And at that time, everybody else I was interested was black. And my pops was like, go where you are appreciated, go where you are loved. He didn't say, hey, go date a white girl. He didn't say go date Mexican girl, none of that. He didn't say that. He just said go where whoever's showing you attention. So going back to what Jim was talking about, love and like is in the middle, right? So it's like one of those things where if you're feeling this energy from somebody, whoever they are, like you're feeling the love type energy, give it time, give it some attention.
Well, Dr. Z, there we have it. Family, so that video was asking, are you pro-black if you date outside of your race? Or can you consider yourself pro-black if you date outside of your race? That was the gist of the video for those of you who may have missed it or come in, mid-video. So I'm curious to know. Family, the phone lines are open. Feel free to call us. You can dial 215-634 8065, or you can even call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. I want to know. I seriously want to know. I really want to know what your honest opinion is about dating outside of our race. We've been talking about love. We're celebrating. This is the month of love. So I want to know what your thoughts and what your feelings are about dating outside of our race. Are you pro-black? Are you still pro-black, or do you consider yourself pro-black if you date outside of your race? You can even comment on our socials as well. I welcome that. You know you're welcome to the conversation any way you care to join it. You can call and leave the message with Nick if you choose to do so, and he'll relay it. You can do that too if you don't want to be on the air, because we'll take that too. So family, if you choose to call and share the message with Nick so he can share it with us, you can do that by dialing 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. Dr. Z, what do you think about
that? That's a good conversation there, Carol. As you was thinking, I was like, wait, let me make sure I gather the big picture, right? Before I talk about it. I know, I think, I don't remember which one said it, but the idea, if I'm not mistaken, right, I don't want to speak ignorantly, of being pro-black is supporting economic wealth within the Black community, right? I think that's the definition of it. If I'm not mistaken, I gotta go back and look at it. Please don't shoot me.
I gotta watch it again though too, because I think I might need some clarity on some things.
Yeah, I think they're. So I think first and foremost, how is pro-black defined, right? And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's defined by building the Black community, economic wealth within the Black community. And I think I heard him say in the video, I can date someone out of my race and still be pro-Black and build the Black community. Some people may argue against that because they may feel like it's all things Black, right? Who you marry, your economic wealth. But I think if we look at it, I have to go look at the definition again, and the callers can correct me or follow up if I'm wrong. But I believe it's about economic wealth within our community, in the Black and brown community. So if I go by the definition, I believe you can be pro-Black and date outside of your race. However, I can see where it gets tricky, because are you truly pro-Black if you are dating outside of your race? So I think it's a slippery slope right there, if I can be honest. I would have to look into that a little more, Carol. You caught me off guard with that one.
I'm sorry, Dr. Z. I'm sorry. And, so I'm looking it up. I'm reading pro-Black. Well, this is from the Urban Dictionary. Pro-Black is a lifestyle that encourages economic growth and development of Black people as a whole, with the purpose of increasing the wealth and population of Black people around the world. Okay, whether it be spending money with Black-owned businesses in your communities or online, promoting love for Black people and encouraging Black youth is its sole purposes, to keep uplifting Black people in America to be proud, and at the same time. Okay, so with that definition in mind, so I believe it was Jim. I'm not sure. I'm not sure of the names of all of the individuals in the video, but I believe Jim said even if he marries outside of his race, he's still a black man, and that the children that he would have would be black and would be considered black, so that he'd still be furthering. He'd still be pro-black. That was what his position was, and he was being challenged. The young lady said, How so? What are you talking about? If you date or marry outside your race, like the child is mixed, the child is not considered fully black, and he would say it's black. My child will be black. Alfred is sharing. He's pro-black in everything that he does, but he went to schools all his life in a multiculturalism environment. Now, for romance, he shares that he's old school and he's preferred black women. In today's society, there are so many interracial children that he can see them having a more expansive view of pro-black.
Yes.
How about that?
I think Alfred hit it on the nose. I think romance, and this is not fully my lane, but I would believe romance and pro-blackness, it's a preference, right? I can be pro-black and still replenish the community, build businesses, help support other black businesses, but romantically, I can still date someone outside of my race.
They were adamant. She was adamant. She said, absolutely not. We're going to go to the phone lines. One of our family members is joining us on the phones. Hello, and thank you so much for calling.
Good evening, Carol. Good evening, Dr. Z. Good evening, everyone. How are you? Audrey calling.
Good evening, Ms. Audrey. Happy belated Valentine's Day to you.
Happy belated Valentine's Day to you as well, and to you, Dr. Z, and to the audience. We do take some meaning away from it, and there are some of us who choose to go outside the race. Me myself, my preference would be a black man every time. Not necessarily a dark man. Can be a dark man, a brown man, a red man. More so because that would be my choice. I know you all remember the song Trade Winds, Roberta Flack.
Yes.
Yeah, when I thought of that song when I was listening to that interview, that dialogue and exchange. And what I'm finding with our young folks is that they are more so navigating towards those who love them. There, in fact, is a commercial about it, wherein they say, love the one that loves you. So I understand what the young man's father said when he said to him, love the one that loves you. So when you're feeling that love and you love the one that loves you and it is reciprocated, then that's where it's best to be. I can agree with that.
Miss Audrey, thank you for that. Thank you. So let me ask you this, because the young lady, I think it was the young lady. I don't want to, we'll watch the video again, but in the event, I am not mistaken, I believe it was the young lady that shared how she was asking, well, how could you consider yourself pro-black if you procreate with someone from another race, then your child is not fully black? I think that was her position. And he was stating, well, my child would be from me, so my child would be black. What are your thoughts on that?
Are you asking me, Carol?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Well, what I've noticed, and I'm only going by those conversations that I've seen in regards to that, and that is that people always say, I'm a separate person. I am who I am, and he is who he is, or vice versa. She'll say, I am who I am, and he is who he is. And so they try to make a point that there's a cultural difference, yet there is no difference that redefines them because they're with someone else. That's just an observation.
Thank you for that. Ms. Audrey, thank you as always, and thank you for calling and joining the conversation.
And thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely. Family, well, I'm inviting you to join the conversation as well. We're going to watch the video again because I know there was so much to take in. And Dr. Z and I both said, wait a minute, I think I missed a few things.
Yeah, we have to play it back. We have to play it back again with different eyes and ears this time, Carol.
We definitely do. Yes, there was so much going on. It was so fast. Okay, so family, we're going to take this video in again so we can digest it a little better. So we're going back in. Here we go.
Come with no complexion if we want to get down to it. Your pro-blackness got nothing to do with what love is. Okay. Love don't come with nothing, or what like is. Like don't come with nothing. You've been conditioned in your household that is pro-black everything, not knowing that somebody from another color might do way more better for you in your life than a black person might do. Not saying it might not be that way. I'm just telling you, love and like don't come with nothing. So what a person's preference is a person's preferences. And black people have been conditioned for so long ago that there's certain things that we got to stop. Yeah. Start letting other things. Yeah.
I don't think I think being pro-black too, for instance, we're pro-black wealth, right? How do you build black wealth if you don't go and marry someone black? There's no way to pass that wealth down blackly.
You were just trying. Were you trying to rob
black wealth? Black wealth. I make money with white people, but it's still black wealth. At the end of the day, when they talk about my legacy and my history,
it come home to a black woman.
That black man did his thing and he got the bag.
I say that because my father said, "Go where you are loved." Right. And at that time, I was raised in a mixed type city. You know, our school was probably, it might have probably been 70% white and then 25% black, and then that remaining 5% was just everything else, right? And at that time, everybody else I was interested was black. And my pops was like, go where you are appreciated, go where you are loved. He didn't say, hey, go date a white girl. He didn't say go date a Mexican girl, none of that. He didn't say that. He just said go where whoever's showing you attention. So going back to what Jim was talking about, love and like is in the middle, right? So it's like one of those things where if you're feeling this energy from somebody, whoever they are, like you're feeling the love type energy, give it time, give it some attention.
And there you have it. There you have it. There you have it. So family, here we were. We went in for a second dose of the video so that we could digest it a little better. There was so much to take in. I do want to share because our family members are commenting. And I did ask, I'm still asking for you to join the conversation because I know I want to know. I want to know what you think and how you feel. Can you still be considered pro-black if you date or marry outside of your race? Joanne Kemp, hi there, beautiful. She shares, I think you can be pro-black. You're still black. A lot of black people have married other races. Harry Belafonte was a great civil rights activist. Alfred Woodard, yes, that's right. Lots of people are happy and have happy children. How about that? She follows up by sharing that Serena Williams, lots of good role models. How about that? And Malcolm shares that it's an interesting question. He would like to think that he's pro-black. He grew up during the Black Power era in the late 60s and 70s and had a mother that was adamant about staying away from white women. He laughs at that. He shares, I went to a racially mixed high school, but I have never dated a white woman, even though I've been approached a few times. He shares, I love my black sisters, but I will live and let live when others do their thing. Frederick Douglass's second wife was a white woman. How about that? You know, I'm glad you said that. I saw a photo and I wasn't sure if she was white or if she was just really fair skinned, but thank you for that. Eric shares, many of us have been advised and or programmed to not intermingle because of the history of slavery and its repercussions on people of color. I think you should love who you love. Just know who and where you hail from. Malcolm shares, there's a certain WURD host that is pro-black and has a white husband. Oh, okay. Okay. Pastor Daniel Black, hello and welcome. You know, I was waiting. I said, where is Pastor Black? You all know I look for Pastor Black to join us. He's from Gospel Temple Baptist Church right there in South Philly. Pastor Daniel Black shares that dating outside one's race does not change your identity if one is true to themselves. And Malcolm shares Jack Johnson was pro-black and he had white wives. This is wow. Pastor Black follows by sharing he agrees. Go where you are appreciated. Good. How about that? And that's exactly what the gentleman said. And Alfred shares, I try to live the commandment, love thy neighbor when circumstances allow. Well, now that wasn't the full commandment, Alfred, but I know what you mean. I don't know if that little part on the end was in there, but I know what you're saying. Don't you pay me any attention? You know, I find humor in most things. Ms. Lily shares Tamara Hall is another one. Well, thank you, Alfred. Alfred thought that was funny too. Thank you. I'm glad you did. Little end part he shared, when circumstances allow, that ellipsis there. But yeah, so Dr. Z, do I have you? Oh, there you are. You're muted right now at the moment.
And I think our listeners are tying in what was just said on the video, right? It's go where you feel loved and appreciated. And as I looked at the definition again and I looked it up, so I'm thinking, if I'm married to someone outside of my race, does that stop me from still doing great things in my Black community? I think Pastor Black said it well too, that doesn't, as long as I don't lose my identity of who I am, right? I think that's what I'm thinking just off the top of my head, and where I'm from and what I'm rooted in, I think I can remain pro-Black and true to myself and still date someone else. I also think it's personal preference, right? I think that, again, who I love is who I love, but that doesn't take away from who I am.
Oh, that was nicely stated, Dr. Z. That was nicely stated. I was interested in joining Nick to the conversation. I said, I don't know if Nick wants to jump in on this one, but Nick, I know we were about to go to commercial break. So when we come back from commercial break, would you mind jumping in and joining the conversation? I would love to hear your thoughts on this topic. Family, for those of you who have just joined us, welcome. You know, you're always welcome. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We're going to take just a short commercial break, but know that the phone lines are still open and feel free to comment on our socials. The question that we're asking is, are you still pro-Black if you date outside your race? If you date or marry outside your race, are you still pro-Black? That's the question. Stay with us, family. I can't wait to hear what you think and how you feel. We'll be right back.
Want the latest in word swag? Check out the shop tab on wordradio.com. Hoodies, tees, and more in a variety of colors. It's the shop tab on wordradio.com. You can look good and show the world that you're all about Black Talk Media.
History will be made this Women's History Month, and you're invited. On March 14th, tens of thousands of women will come together in one digital space for a national gathering of women, supporting women. This groundbreaking event is being organized by the Conferences for Women, the largest network of women's conferences in the country. Register now and gain access to some of the world's top women leaders and experts on career advancement, leadership, and personal development. Speakers include The Handmaid's Tale author Margaret Atwood, award-winning actor America Ferrera of Barbie, Top Chef host Kristen Kish, author and musician Michelle Zahner, Vanity Fair editor-in-chief Radhika Jones, and many more. There is power in numbers, so secure your ticket and be a part of history. Visit www.conferencesforwomen.org. PHMC is proud to commemorate Black History Month and be a part of Philadelphia's dynamic culture. We celebrate our diverse and innovative workforce every day. PHMC is a nonprofit public health institute and invites you to explore careers in public health and join the efforts to make an impact in the community. Benefits include a pension plan, tuition discounts, and reimbursements, as well as generous paid time off. Learn about Public Health Management Corporation. Log into mypublichealthcareer.org to view all open positions and find your place in public health.
These days, my happy place feels a little happier, even if the fish aren't biting.
Mental health care is working for Diego. See what it can do for you at mentalhealthcareworks.org. A message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
We're celebrating Black influence and Black excellence worldwide on the home of progressive Black Talk Media, WURD.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking in this hour with Dr. Z, number one, because it's Thursday, and that's what we do on Thursdays in this hour. We have Thursdays with Dr. Z, and we are talking about a specific topic. I shared a video, and the question was asked: are you considered, or can you still be considered pro-Black if you date outside your race? Nick, I was afraid to invite you to the conversation, but I'm so glad that you don't mind joining it. So, what are your thoughts?
Hey, Carol. Hey, Dr. Z. Thanks for bringing me in here. I wasn't going to say anything at first just because I felt like a lot of the other listeners and callers, they all had the right idea. I do think that you can 100% be pro-Black and still marry or date outside of your race. I think that the biggest issue is that you run into other people who are of your race who are going to tell you otherwise and try and, I suppose, make you feel bad about it, or try and convince you to see otherwise. When the reality is that people fall in love who are not necessarily, the same race, who are not from the same place. Love is love, And I think that all you're doing is shutting down avenues of love because you don't. I don't know quite why somebody would do it, but I guess they don't like the idea. They can't themselves, see themselves with a person from a different race, which is fine when it comes to personal preference. But I don't think that anybody has the right to tell you who you can and can't love. I mean, that's a recipe for disaster. And even if it's coming out of a place of love, like you think that you know better for that person, it's something that if you're wrong about that, then you could absolutely destroy that person's sense of self and destroy how they feel about love, and that's not worth doing. I have a very mixed up kind of family. It's a lot of different stuff in there, and it's not a big deal to me. I just see it as it's family. I got a little brother that's Puerto Rican, and he looks like he's an Arab guy. It's, to me, I just look at that and I go, well, that's family. And the idea that I wouldn't have the little brother that I have now because somebody didn't want to date outside their race or whatever, is just silly. So I've been raised, not even so much, nobody ever told me that I can't do it, but it's just that I've seen the love for myself, and I know that that love is genuine. So I could never walk around telling people, oh no, I can't. Oh no, I can't do this. I can't do that. Now, if it's a matter of preference, that's your preference.
Right.
I'm not going to try and change. That's how you feel. That's how you feel. Some people look at, I don't know, Taylor Swift, and they go, oh my, that's my queen right there, and that's fine. Not for me, but that's how other people feel about it, and I can't take that away from you. We can have a discussion about it, but I'm certainly not trying to change any minds. So I just see it as love is love.
I think he just hit a couple of things on the head. And as he was thinking, I was thinking about just even now, right after we watched the Super Bowl, we heard that Usher, right, got married. And there's a lot of conversation now around him marrying outside of his race. But I believe love is love. And it's not like Usher has never dated or been in relationship with Black women or a Black woman before, or even married to a Black woman. So I think, again, it's really, I think he said it correctly. Nick said it correctly. It's about personal preference. Like my personal preference would be to establish and develop a Black family with someone who can understand my Black experience as a Black woman and understand the microaggressions that I may experience, as someone talked about earlier, as a Black woman in our community, in the work field, in our society. But that's my personal preference. That doesn't mean that has to be everyone's personal preference. I think the biggest piece of it, Carol, is, do you lose yourself in that journey, right? If you attach yourself to someone of the other race, I think that's where it gets. Are you true to your Blackness, or are you losing it because now you've stepped on another side? So I think that's a big part of how we look at pro-Blackness and not.
Thank you for that, Dr. Z. And Nick, thank you. So, Nick, I love it when you join the conversation. I always do. So thank you for joining the conversation. I'm going to go back to our phone lines before I read what I see are some of the comments that are coming in. Thank you so much for calling.
Hi, it's Leslie from Mount Airy. Long time.
Leslie, oh my goodness, how are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm listening all the time. It's just sometimes I get so caught up. I just can't. I just, you know what? I got to spare you. But really quickly, what Nick just said, I totally feel. I mean, I went to private schools all my life, but my first dance was with a white boy. I've never gone out with one per se, and it's not because, ooh, yuck, I can't. I just not. That just has not been an avenue of straight comfort for me. And so where what he just said about not shutting down avenues for love, for caring, for respect, for knowledge, for information, for exchange, and for growth, I think that is kind of silly. You know what I mean? It's kind of it's limited thinking. And what I was jotting down while I was calling in, as a matter of fact, was that, isn't that what our struggle was about? Freedom, to have the choices to do what makes us whole, what gives us happiness, what gives us joy, to not have to sequester ourselves because of our color or the difference in colors. I remember in college, back then I was relaxing my hair. The Black Action Society, everybody had dreadlocks. Everybody, look at you. Oh, who you think you are? I just think I want to have hair that I can manage right now. That's really who I am. You know what I'm saying? That makes me less black, right?
How about that?
So I just thought that was an interesting parallel, you know what I mean? When you talk about if you go out with a white person or you go out with someone outside of your race, are you still, basically I said to your producer, I said, I want to comment on, are you still down? You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm down. I'm down with my happiness. I'm down with my progression. I'm down with living this life to the fullest. And if it's engaging with someone outside my race, then obviously that's what is supposed to be happening. The last thing, if I may just sum it up by saying this too, as long as no one is doing it for the wrong reasons, I got this white girl to showpiece, or I got this black girl to let everybody know I'm not racist, or I got this Puerto Rican girl to see, to X, Y, and Z. As long as those aren't the reasons, because that creates an unevenness, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Relationship, I believe. And I'm not even a psychologist. I'm just a 50-year-old woman. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. She said, I'm just a 50-year-old woman.
Experience, 15 years of experience, okay?
There you go. I do want to go to our socials. Some of our family members are checking in, and I so appreciate you joining the conversation too. Tamika Patton, our beloved, our uberly talented love bug, is joining the conversation. Hi there, beautiful. So happy to have you stop on by. Malcolm shares the major problem he has is with a certain group of Black women that call themselves divestors, that preach hardcore hatred of Black men and talk about the extinction of Black boys and men. What? This is an underground group. Some have been on YouTube and the Clubhouse app. They are totally disgusting. Are you serious? I'm so unfamiliar. The divestors? Okay. Thank you for sharing that, family. I mean it when I say to you that I so appreciate you sharing with me, because this is a big world. There's a big world out here, and there's so much that I don't know. I have never heard of that. Harold, hey there, Harold. He's joining us, Harold Spreadle, and he shares. Dr. Umar says no to the snow bunny. Harold, leave it to you, Harold. And Alfred shares no one can determine another's journey. Eric shares that he likes mint chocolate chip ice cream. You like strawberry. You are not a strange or bad person because you choose differently. We can all live, love, and coexist in peace and harmony. Eric, you had me for a moment there because I was saying, where are we going with the ice cream? But I got it. You brought it full circle. So thank you. And Malcolm shares there was a video of a snow bunny approaching him. LOL. He claimed there was nothing to it. You know what? He shares that the brother, is it Polite or is it Polite? Is another one that is hardcore against the interracial. And there are pictures of him taken with white women. Oh, wow. So Joanne has a question. She asks, what happens when you marry a Black woman or man and they are unhappy with their Blackness? Now, that's that right there. She shares that's certainly not a happy marriage. No, that is definitely not a happy marriage. And Malcolm follows up by sharing, I'm not sure I would trust a white woman's potato salad.
I was laughing at that comment, Carol, when I saw it. I said, Malcolm.
You know what?
Malcolm.
You know what? Malcolm. Oh my goodness. Well, I can't even comment on that. I cannot comment on that. I cannot. But I want to go back to Joanne's question. So, family, if you don't mind, let's add that to the conversation. Joanne shares what happens when you marry a black man or woman and they are unhappy with their blackness. Yeah, what does happen? What happens? Wait, I see you, Eric. Eric, don't you clown me. He said, took you a second. Well, yeah, I was reading about the ice cream and I didn't know where we were going, but I got you. I got you. I got you. So yeah, what happens in that case?
I think right there we're talking about someone who has identity issues, right? I don't even think that we really are talking about pro-black versus dating, and I think that is a personal issue that person needs to work through first, right? I think it has nothing to do with the topic at hand, because if you're not happy, are you not happy with your blackness because you're connected to someone who's not black and you've lost yourself? Identity issue. Were you not happy with your blackness before because you had self-esteem issues, or you were taught that something is wrong with being black? I think that is where, I come in with my therapy conversation talk, where we got to get to the root of that issue first before we even talk about dating, marrying anyone, whether they're black, white, Puerto Rican, Hispanic, Italian. We need to deal with what's going on with you first. That's the thing that I would be questioning if I encounter someone with that question or issue.
How about that? How about that? How about that? Leslie, what were you sharing? That's the wrong reason. What was that? I missed that. Leslie shares, that's an example of the wrong reason. I missed that. Please help me with that so that I know to what you were referring. Family, welcome, welcome, welcome. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. We are talking with Dr. Z because that's what we do on Thursdays. Thursdays with Dr. Z. Dr. Z, I didn't even say happy belated Valentine's Day to you, and I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Same to you, Carol.
I tried to come prepared with my little red lipstick.
Yes, with your red background. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I forgot. I was trying to say.
I'm not a red girl. I'm a pink girl, but I appreciate it.
Me, I'm not. I can't do red or pink. Well, I'm wearing red, but I don't typically.
You're looking beautiful as ever.
Oh, thank you. So, I want to actually mix apples with oranges, if you don't mind, when we come back from the commercial break, Dr. Z, because I know we were initially going to have a conversation about the holidays and about Valentine's Day and some things. I would love to just dip into that, dip our toes into that pool, if you don't mind, when we come back from commercial break. Malcolm shares, before we go, he shares he has cousins that are in interracial marriages. Yeah, you know what? I don't doubt that we all do. I'm sure, we have someone in our family who's in an interracial relationship. Leslie shares, when you're not sure of your own blackness and you marry a white man or woman to cure your thinking. I don't know if there's a cure. I don't know. I don't know if there's a cure to that. Well, in any event, family, for those of you who have missed what we were talking about, what we've been talking about, we were talking about dating outside of your race, and if you are or can still be considered pro-black. I love the love, quite honestly. I really do. I love the love and the openness and how open-minded we all are in this space tonight. I really do. I appreciate it. I so appreciate it because listen, I say it every night, we're all in this together. I do remind us that I remind myself we're all in this together. So I do appreciate that we're not being judgmental at all. We typically aren't, but I so appreciate us. But I'm appreciating this conversation too. But we're talking about, can you still be considered pro-black if you date or marry outside of your race? We still have time for another caller, 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. And remember, you may say, I don't want to be heard on the air. I don't want anybody to hear my opinion. Well, guess what? Nick can take your call and you can share your opinion with him and he can share it with us. And no one will ever know it was you. we can do that too. And for those of you that don't mind sharing on socials, you can feel free to share on our socials, and I will do my best to read your comment aloud. Okay. Eric is sharing that Malcolm is hilarious, but he ain't lying about the potato salad.
I was laughing as I saw Rick come in with that comment.
No. Well, wait a minute, Malcolm. You shared that you have cousins that are interracial. Well, have any of them
made potato salad?
Is that from where that's coming? Is that where?
Did you have some bad potato salad?
I think he did, Dr. Z.
At a family gathering. Share. We want to hear.
Malcolm, now we want to know all about it. What was in
was
the
it raisins in your
oh
potato
my goodness, I was just about to say that. I was just about to ask that. Dr. Z, I'm being bad. Family, you hear me being bad? I'm being so bad tonight. Oh my goodness. I just want to say, Rosalind, hi there, beautiful. She's joining us tonight. And she's giving everyone, all of us, our flowers while we are here to smell them. We're going to take just a short commercial break. And Malcolm, when we come back from commercial break, I want to know, and Dr. Z wants to know, we all want to know if there were raisins in the potato salad, because we are all sure that you had a bad experience with potato salad. So, families, stay with us because we are coming right back.
Just one question can save a child's life. Before your child visits a friend, ask if there's an unlocked gun in the house. With an average of 13 children dying from guns every day, guns are now the leading cause of death among children. Ask the question and do your part to keep children safe. To help get the conversation going, 59 regional hospitals united to offer life-saving tips. Learn more by visiting hospitaltogether.com. That's hospitaltogether.com. Friday's Mega Million jackpot now has an estimated annuity of $457 million. $457 million. So don't forget to play at your local retailer or online. Pennsylvania Lottery proceeds benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly.
Hello?
Man, where are you? This wedding is lit. I thought you were coming.
Oh, I can't. I'm in bed with the flu.
The flu? You didn't get a flu shot?
I wish I did. I can't believe I'm missing out on Greg's wedding.
Whoa. Grandma's about to crowd surf.
Grandma's about to what? What?
Man, I'll call you back.
Oh, man.
Sounds like another case of flu FOMO. Don't get stuck at home with the flu. A flu shot is safe, effective, and you can get it at the same time as your COVID-19 vaccine. A flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu and its potentially serious complications. It keeps you protected and also protects your loved ones. Protecting our community can't wait. So why get stuck inside with the flu? Don't get flu FOMO. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
Long nose, what's the word, boy? What's the word?
WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Hey there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick right here on WURD. It is Thursday, so that means it's Thursdays with Dr. Z, because that's what we do on Thursdays. And before the break, we were all coming on Malcolm. We were talking to Malcolm because Malcolm was talking about not eating the potato salad if it wasn't made by a Black woman, particularly, or a woman of color. And so we all said, okay, we want to know if you've had a bad experience, if there were raisins in the potato salad. And Malcolm shared at the cookouts and reunions, the white women did not cook anything that I know of. that you know of. See that? Okay, see that? And Alfred shares, he's smiling. Leave that potato salad alone, okay? And Eric shares, leave it at the door. I'm sorry, leave it at the door. So there we have it.
Wait, it may be good potato salad, okay? It may be love in the potato salad. You never know.
You never know. You do,
You
and guess
never
what?
know.
Guess what? Somebody probably did. Malcolm, you probably don't even know. They probably did make it, and it was delicious, and you were none the wiser. How about that? How about that? You
I feel
listen.
like Malcolm's family that made the potato salad needs to call him and tell him.
Malcolm, you better listen. You better play nice. Play nice. No. Oh my goodness. So before the break, I was asking Dr. Z. I know she was stopping by today to talk with us about navigating Valentine's Day. What I was saying yesterday when we were talking about love. We started talking about self-love, and then in the second hour we were talking. We talked with both my aunt and uncle, and I will add too that they called me today and said, my aunt said, no, I corrected him. It will be 58 years in August. So they've been married for 57 years already. They will be married for 58 years on August 29th. And my uncle, he said, she's right. She's right. So they wanted me to let you know. But Dr. Z, please help us for those of our family members who may still have a heavy heart today, or may have had a heavy heart yesterday after having navigated the holiday.
Yeah, so my personal thing is Valentine's Day is such a hallmark day. It's such a day marketed, right, for us to go out and spend money and show our love for people that we care about. But truth be told, if you really love someone, you're not waiting till February 14th to share your love with them. You should know that they love you. Whatever they're doing on February 14th, they should have been doing all of those days prior to February 14th. That's one. That's just always have been my personal thoughts around Valentine's Day. However, it is what it is, right? It's a calendar date that where people look around and it's love and it's happiness and it's flowers and candy, but it's not a happy time for everyone. And I think that oftentimes people look around to say, I should have this going on in my life. Why not me? But I think that we have to stop comparing ourselves to other people. We have to stop comparing ourselves to other people's journey. It's funny. I saw yesterday someone commented on social media and they were saying like they only got like a half a dozen of roses. And I'm like, is it really that serious? Like, whether it's a half a dozen, whether it's one, whether it's a full dozen, it's if they love you, they love you. And I think we have got so caught up in ascribing to this Hallmark calendar day of what love should look like that many of us sometimes even miss that throughout the year prior to Valentine's Day, someone has showed their love to us, or we have showed our love to ourselves throughout the year. And we don't need necessarily someone to show their love to me even more on Valentine's Day. And so I think sometimes it causes people to feel a sense of sadness or depression. Sometimes people go into isolation. They don't even get on social media. Why? Because they are looking around and they're comparing their life to what someone else is getting or doing with not accepting their own greatness or their own, what loves look like for their own life.
I think that relates to every single holiday, Dr. Z. Every single one. We feel this intense pressure to celebrate and to go out and spend money to demonstrate how we feel. I've never liked that, because you feel the pressure to do it. So you feel that's one thing that you're dealing with, and then you may not be financially equipped at that time. So then that's another thing that you're dealing with.
Right. So people putting themselves in debt, Christmas, Valentine's Day to do what? What is that about? That it's about comparison. That's about looking around. I'm not saying that everyone shouldn't want to feel that sense of love and happiness, but I don't think we can define that by one day in a calendar year, right? That's the day that's created on the calendar for us to show love. And I'm not denying that it doesn't feel good. I'm not saying that it's not a great thing, but I think when I hear people say, I'm so sad because I don't have anyone to share Valentine's Day with, well, it's tons of ways that you can celebrate you outside of Valentine's Day. And I love the new trend. I love the new trend right now on Instagram, TikTok, all the social media networks, the Valentine's Day. Where are your girls? Where are your friends, right? Where are the family members, the people that love you, that love is love, right? We just talked about this idea. Love is love. So if we're talking about sharing love with someone, I can share love with my girls. I can share love with my family and still embrace Valentine's Day if that date is important to you. But looking at it through this intimate lens, I think sets us up for failure because everyone's life is not the same.
How about that? We were talking about that yesterday too. We started the hour talking about self-love. We're talking about it is so not necessary for Valentine's Day to be celebrated in any particular way or with any particular someone, and it just I've always been bothered by the pressure that we're all made to feel by these holidays, period. Just by the holidays, period, because you're living on this calendar, like, oh, I've got to be prepared for this or be prepared for that. Like you don't have enough in life that you're doing, and it's just I think it's unfair. I think it's just
and when we look at it just from a psychology perspective, anxiety levels go up the highest around these type of holidays.
See, yeah, and that makes so much sense. We all feel so much pressure. I see comments coming in, and I do want to acknowledge them. Malcolm was sharing that it could be true to the comments we were making, and I do want to be clear because here I was. I started tonight's episode apologizing for something I said, and in my lightness and I just want to be clear. I was really joking and speaking lightly, so I don't want to insult anyone again. I don't want to start the episode apologizing for insulting and then end it with another insult. So that is not my heart. It is not my intent at all. So I just want to be clear, and I want to make sure that you know that I was speaking lightly, and I thought it was just funny, especially friends of mine of other races, we joke in that way too. So I just want to be clear.
And Kara, if I can jump in, that wasn't you. That was we were laughing at them talking about their family potato salad, not you, Carol. You didn't say anything.
I think I did ask him if it had raisins in it.
So if anyone wants to call in, call the listeners, because the word family was talking about the potato salad, not you, Carol. Okay.
Oh my God. Did I think I asked about the raisins? I'm trying to,
I asked about the raisins.
You asked about, okay.
About the raisins.
Well, I thought it too. So I was right there with you. Malcolm shares, he'll try to give them benefit of doubt. And Joanne shares, well, I know some Black folks who shouldn't make potato salad. Y'all,
it was even across the board. It's just the conversation around who made the potato salad, right?
Who made the
potato salad? Who made the macaroni and cheese?
Who made it? Alfred is talking about Black love. My aunt and uncle who've been married for 57 years. My boops, they're my baby loves. And Alfred also shares, that's a great analysis, Dr. Z, of the holidays. He shares that he tries to show that love every day and make Valentine's Day just a little more special. And Denise shares, we love you. We love you. We love you so much. See that, Dr. Z? We all love you. Yes. And Alfred shares, everything one sees on social media is not always true or reality. That's the truth. Malcolm shares he's been single on Valentine's Day for 17 years now, so he's just used to it by now. Oh, well, I hear that. Okay. And Pastor shares all of these special days just make the rich richer. They do. And they cause us distress, quite honestly, emotional distress. A lot of us are caused to feel emotional distress. Family, here we are at the end of another episode. Dr. Z, I have missed you.
I missed you all too. I missed you all too. I was at the conference. Like, I miss my word family.
You know we miss you.
I miss you all.
So family, here we are. I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Dr. Z, as always. I look forward to seeing you next week. Yes. God willing, we will all be here. Same time, same place, same back channel. Family, just praise God, from whom all blessings flow. Praise God all day, all night. You hear me? You better. As we wrap tonight's episode, just thank you to each and every one of you. Extending my apologies once again for the insult that I'd made in the past. And I just want to be clear that, it was not intentional. I will see you this weekend if you're coming to Wilson's on Saturday, because I will be there. So I will see you there, family. Happy birthday once again to all of our love bugs that are celebrating a birthday. To our entire WURD family, especially Nick and Niall. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank you, family, for joining the conversation. I so appreciate you for doing so. Thank you to our callers. Family, you know I'm going to say it because I say it all the time. We are all in this together. You hear me? So be good to you, but be good to those around you. God loves you, and so do I. Yes, he does. Have a great rest of your night and a great weekend. And be sure to join me Monday through Thursday, 7 till 9 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of Love and Life right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. Family, have a good night. Bye.